I didn't look at the light.
Oh, we're back.
Yeah,
All right, there you go.
We're back on the screen, brother man.
We're live.
We're live. Hey, hello.
what's up, folks? Little technical pitch. Hey, Red County Blue Nation here. Stephen Rourke, Mike Boring, and James McMahon here at the wheels, folks. Jimmy, how you doing this evening, buddy?
Absolutely wonderful. I had a massage. I just came from a massage. I had 2 days of concrete. So concrete's for young guys. But yeah, we did like 13. Well, we did six and some yards out there at Mike's, and then we did like 7 yards at Kevin's.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, I ran the wheelbarrow for you at Mike's, so I know that part of it. I didn't.
But anyways, between screeting and pouring and magging and that's a young man's game. I'm just gonna tell you.
But now you're all fixed.
But I did a massage today.
First one ever, folks.
Oh, not the very first one, but
Been
it's
scared.
since been a long time. But I haven't been able to put my arms up. My arms were like, I couldn't hardly do it. Everything down here I was fine with, but I couldn't go up here. And now I'm like, oh, thank you, Sarah Jordan, appreciate you. But yeah, no, we're having here's the deal. We have such good weather, people are wanting to get construction done. They're like, no. The weather's good, let's go. Let's roll. And it's like, doggies. It's just go. So people are coming to Custer County
Well,
because the crime rate is low. We don't have low-income housing. I'm talking to the commissioners more than anybody. And some of you other people that are trying to get wealthy by government handouts. Anyways, we're attracting some good, strong young people that work from home, that have children, that are strong people. And we need to focus on marketing that. You asked me how I was doing. I'm doing good, Stephen. How are you doing? I know you had a pretty... You're doing a lot. You got a lot of irons in the fire, man. You have I don't know how you get it all done, but you did get her done. So.
Yeah, most of them are still hot, too.
Oh, yeah.
Smoke's flying.
Yeah. Red hot.
Oh, red hot, boys. Yeah.
Were you able to hook up with Aaron at all today?
I did not. Nope,
Okay.
that didn't work out, but I got a sandblaster, so that's what I needed.
Okay. Good deal. So, yeah, it's Hot Rod USA here.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, not only are you rebuilding
The whole
backhoes and rebuilding generators and old generators, now you're working on, what year? 1953? 9?
49.
49. 49, yeah. Yep, pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
Badass mechanic. Work on a hay baler, work on a hay, yeah. Can do some welding and some cutting. These are the independent cusses that have a voice nowadays that don't want to be jerked around by the government. And you're one of them.
I ain't getting jerked around about shit, and this is kind of how the conversations went today, because I listened to this podcast with this guy. This is all going to lead into it, folks, but so I'm listening to this guy, and I can't remember his name exactly. He was on with Jones, right? But he calls himself an American communist. And I didn't hear that till the end, right? So he's talking about, oh man, we need to lock these criminals up is what we need to do. All the people are perpetrating on this planet, the vacciners, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all right, all the way through. All these people that are perpetrating all this stuff, all the fraud, all this stuff, anybody that's guilty of something that is against the law should be penalized. That's what we've been talking about forever. There's no penalization.
Consequences.
But this communist...
And this is on
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones, who's a freedom fighter patriot.
He's a freedom fighter of all freedom fighters. He's the one that's at the heart of all of this stuff, exposing this stuff. He gets it wrong just like everybody makes mistakes, but he's the one that has the most experience and the most
situational awareness. I would say.
And I'm sure he has demons that I don't want to know about, and vice versa, right? So
Sure.
that's not where I'm coming at. What I'm coming at is we're fighting this war, right? What you do on your off time is not my business, right?
Nope.
We're talking about, and we all make mistakes. We all think, we try to be as intricate and as delicate and as truthful as we can, right, with this stuff. So going with that.
Yeah. Well, what I'm going to say is, because the headline is more than, I mean, we were talking about the American taxpayer being exploited and whatnot, but also at the end of the day, we need to hold ourselves accountable.
And that's where it goes back to too, because it's all these, it's that mindset, right? And that's where I'm going with this whole thing, folks. Is it's not that much different what this guy's saying, that he says he's an American communist, versus what we are with constitutionalists. I mean, it's like, we need to lock up the criminals. We need to get the money right. We don't need to be killing people just to kill people. We need to take care of business just like we do here at the fucking county. So it's not astray. So people don't need to kill each other.
Absolutely. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And at the end of the day, being civil. But what you said was this guy was agreeing with a lot of the common ground that we agree as a republic in a nation under law. But then at the end of the show, you said he was.
Well, did you figure out that he's a communist? So he's an American communist, and he's like, we need to get rid of all this.
There's no such a thing. I'm just being sarcastic, brother.
Well, and I agree, right? But I mean, that's how it's getting so intricate, and that's what I'm talking about, folks, is what Jimmy said about trying to tell the difference of what is going on inside your mind, right? What's really happening here, of what you're thinking about, what the heck you're thinking about, right? When you're thinking about these guys trying to blow each other up, and then this guy says we need peace, but yet. The main takeaway in my mind is that the criminals got to be locked up. They either need to be hunted down and locked up, or smoked.
Yeah.
Whatever their fucking choice.
Well, and that was the beautiful thing.
I hate to say that, but that's what they'd say about us. Well, Trump needs to go to jail. We need to go to jail and fucking excuse my language, and persecute the white man. Persecute the white male. He's the one that needs to go to jail. Man, I ain't the one that needs to go to jail. I'm the one that's paying the taxes here that make this country go. I'm the one that's a contribution to society.
You're the one that's carrying 100 people's water. 1,000 people's water. We're carrying everybody else's water. Man, after a while, it's like, wait a minute. You wasted a lot of water. I don't mind carrying the water if it's going to good use. But when you're just abusing me, when you're just looking at me and going, you're nothing but just what do they call it? A useless eater. Useless eaters. So when you start looking at the big situational awareness of what's going on, in the strategic and the wisdom of this administration that's in place right now, whether you like it or not, I personally, if I was in that realm, because that's a realm.
Well, so
that's a pretty high realm.
So let me get back to before, so we don't string it out too long about.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
that's why I was kind of pushing that back to you, brother.
Listen to this interview about this communist. He says we got a lot of shit in common, but yet at the end of the day, he doesn't fucking. What he says is that it's honest and fair elections in fucking Venezuela. He's like, well, I talked to this person, I talked to that person, and da 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 da. And that's what I'm thinking. It's like, it's just like talking to anybody in this town. It's like whoever you talk to is what it is. You can get them to say whatever you want them to say.
With the question.
Well, that's it. All you got to do is ask the right person. You can get the answer you want. It's the same question, but two different people that you ask, you can get the question you want. You just have to ask another person, because all of a sudden then one of them will respond the way that you want. That's what's so fucked up about this whole thing. Once again, excuse my language, but so anyhow.
Well, I love it where Maduro This guy's in Venezuela. I mean, he's got a compound. He's got protection, acres and miles deep.
Well, and so let's
he goes and he tells Trump, "Come on and bring it. What you got?" So at the end of the day, when you're distributing narcotics and you're oppressing your people, and here again,
So
Venezuela's celebrating. People feel like there's a liberation.
Well, there's two ways to look at it, right?
Well, the truth, there's only one, but at the end of the day, there are two.
Who knows what truth is? So truth is somewhere in between here and there, which is actually a third spot. That's what my buddy Laszlo and I were talking about today.
That's kind of what I wanted to bring up.
So whatever told you is probably not the truth, and whatever I heard wasn't
that's
the
what I
truth
wanted you to
either,
bring
so-
up, brother, is what is the truth.
Well, but so here's something that we're going to speculate on that we know is going on is this election fraud. So that's the whole difference between what this communist Democrat bullshit. That's why the communists are the Democrats, right? They think that they're having a fair election. And he's like, well, we got smart ID and we got all this bullshit too. He tries to say, well, Americans don't. The fuck they don't. Part of them do, but not all of them, which is stupid, right? That just lets it go. We don't have no fair elections because we don't even have the fucking IDs. But they ID all the white males. I guarantee you I have to have an ID to make my shit happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So I look at it as a tumor that's in the body or
Keep
a cancer.
cussing. I'm trying not to, but I'm
No,
worked
you're
up
fine,
again.
brother, man. You've gone through a lot of shit, and we're doing fine.
So
At the end of the day, what I wanted to say was, when you're a surgeon and you have to strategically remove a tumor, one of the things you do is you find out the root. You find out where the root of it is. You know, and then you can start peeling it away from the mass that it's already contaminated. But you want to find out where the blood sucking's coming from, because it's like a tick. So what they found out in Venezuela was that was the hub, and it was the centrality. It was where the central. That was where China, Russia, a lot of American-hating people.
well, and so this is where it all started was with Chavez.
Oh, absolutely.
Chavez took over from our oil companies, Exxon. I'm not sure, in the early 90s, right? We were talking about that before.
I was very awake, and I watched Chavez do his thing. He was a labor
So
leader.
that's when let's get to the condensed thing though here. So the nationalists.
So that's the root of it.
Nationalists took over the money of Venezuela. Right? We know this. This is not speculation. We know that they've taken this over. So you can try to say, well, whoever about this or whoever about that. We know that the nationalists took over Chavez and then Maduro, and then this other guy in between. There was one in between Maduro and
Yeah,
Chavez.
and I should know that right on
I
the tip
should
of my
too, but I
tongue, but
missed-
I don't. But anyways, it's been an evolution.
It's been an evolution, and what they're doing, they have fraudulently, they have frauded 73 countries in the last 20 years from there with this China software, this Smartmatic. And that's what nobody wants us to realize. That's what this guy today, well, they weren't talking about the Dominion machine. And Smartmatic, it's this software that cheats on the voting. That's the only way that they're even still standing a chance, because why the hell else are you going to try to throw you in jail for accusing them of something? Because that's why these guys like Mike Lindell go to jail.
Harsh reality. And here's a strategic event where strong people in strong places have an agenda to suppress the people. You absolutely have to remove the voice of the people, because people in general are not going to vote for somebody that's going to oppress them.
That's a good
So
point.
what happens is you
First
have to
grade,
be
but
able to
good.
cheat, and it's 1 + 1 = 2. And that's where we're at. And if we don't look at that, right here in Custer County, we got some ill-willed players playing around here.
Well, we got ill will stuff, so let's continue on here, because we're trying to get to a bigger picture here.
Yeah, absolutely.
How some people, how close it is in thought process between communism and freedom. It's really close, folks. but it's all about the accountability, right? At the end of the day, if you can lie about something, that's what we've been talking about forever on this show.
Yep.
What penalty is there for lying?
Where's the consequences?
And the consequences of lying when nobody else knows, just you and whoever else that is, right?
So with the God conscience, you're always accountable to God, whether you're in the forest by yourself or whether you're a commissioner.
Yeah, so if you didn't realize that, that's what we're talking about,
But some people's conscience are severed. They have no moral conscience. They don't have what the majority of people have. They just have a situational awareness of what's right and wrong. It's built in at the factory.
Well,
it's like a mama cow.
Well, it's like psychopath and narcissist both, right? They just have no concept of life.
There's no empathy. There's no
None.
thinking about somebody else. All they're doing is revolving the world around themselves.
Yeah, but we know
But you got to break it down to simplicity.
we do, but we're going to pull out of that because we got.
Got some ground to cover, baby.
Well, hopefully everybody's listened to us enough to know, and if you don't, please keep listening because it will come again, right?
Well, not only that, but you can go back. I mean, we're a year. We're a year into this,
But we keep
and there's a pretty good library of stuff that's stored.
We keep repeating ourselves because it's the same thing.
It really is. Absolutely, it's fundamentally the same thing.
So confirmed, Venezuela bombshell intel drop. Narco General Hugo Carvajal confesses that the CIA knew about the election fraud, U.S. senators funded by narco regime. It's the full list. Patriots, wake up. It's hard hitting. This was on January 4th. Former Venezuelan military intel chief Hugo El Polo Carvajal is unleashing everything from the U.S. custody after betraying Maduro. He's connected Caracas narco cartels straight to deep state sellouts in Congress, proof of rigged elections, treasonous payoffs, and narco war in America. President Trump and loyal forces are counterattacking full force. Carvajal warns, Maduro's regime is an open war against the United States. It's a narco-terror empire allied with Hezbollah, FARCN, ELN, and Cuban spies, pumping deadly fentanyl into our veins, arming Trinidad gangs and terrorizing cities, releasing prison killers north open borders to collapse our nation. CIA knew it all along and hid the truth. The biggest red pill, Smartmatic systems were created in Venezuela purely for election fraud. Carvajal oversaw placing the regime's IT expert to rig the votes, exported globally with secret backdoors to steal undetected, including the 2022 theft at Flynn and Powell Expose. They're stealing this shit from us, folks. These voting machines.
Wake up!
CIA fully briefed but silent. These tools are still primed to block true patriots. The nuke. Carvajal delivered ironclad proof that Venezuela's list of U.S. senators paid millions by Maduro's cartel. These traitors sabotaged Trump, flooded us with drugs, killing our kids, and sold our sovereignty. Treason.
Treason, baby.
Treason.
Treason!
Sealed indictments ready. Assets seizing now. The storm hits D.C. The Venezuela list. Senators on Maduro's payroll, right? So we have the list here. And we'll see that somehow gets up on the website because it's going to be...
Boy, that is it's a Republican Democrat. I mean, you cannot believe how bad we've been sold out.
Well, yeah,
I mean, Minnesota looks bad with Tampon Tim.
We'll go
this thing is unbelievable.
Yeah, we'll go with we'll go by state. Alaska, Lisa Murkowski, which is a Republican. Arizona, Democrat Mark Kelly. Arizona, Democrat Ruben Gallego. California Democrat Alex Padilla, California Adam Schiff, Colorado Michael Bennett, Colorado John Hickenlooper, Connecticut Richard Blumenthal, Connecticut Chris Murphy, Delaware Chris Coons, Georgia Jose Off, Georgia Raphael Warnock, Hawaii Brian Schatz, Hawaii Mays Hirono, Illinois Democrat Dick Durbin, Illinois Democrat Tammy Duckworth, Iowa Republican Chuck Grassley, Iowa Republican Joni Ernst, Kentucky Republican Mitch McConnell, Kentucky Republican Rand Paul, Louisiana Republican Bill Cassidy, Maine Republican Susan Collins, Maine Independent August King, Maryland Democrat Chris Von Hollen, Maryland Democrat Angela Osbrooks,
Boy, talk about masking.
Massachusetts Democrat Elizabeth Warren, Massachusetts. I'm only to the M's, folks. I mean, you can check it out.
No, this thing that's a long list. I'm just saying, these people that put on a facade to the degree that they're all about America.
But let's get back to what we're talking about here, and which is that's a crucial component. But what we're talking about here is lying, folks. So
boldface.
They're lying to us about what's really going on, and they act like there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so devious that we can't.
So when is the next court date for the old boy we extracted from Venezuela? The Presidente of Venezuela. I am innocent. I plead innocent. Me and my wife plead innocent.
Well, so this is what.
So when's his next court date?
So back to all that good stuff, and what I've been hearing is what they tell me is that he's been trying to get out of there all along.
He was in a pressure cooker.
Yeah, there was no way he could get out because there's 32 Cuban guards. They shot 32.
They were keeping him in more than they were protecting him.
Yeah, of course they were. Otherwise, he would have had his own police. That's the whole thing.
Just saying.
Well, then that's for the record, folks. If he would have had Venezuelan police, it would have been different. He don't. He has Cuban. Cuban guards are the ones that got killed, not.
He was a puppet. He was a manipulated individual that got. And then he's coming to America. I mean he got, come on, boy. Delta Force, pretty badass group of people.
It is, but I mean, let's kind of keep on track here because they are badass, and I don't think we need to be trying to. We have to be real careful what we're doing. But what we did was like, when we can go in and get rid of what we need to get rid of real quick and do what we need to do, and we're not risking anything, no assets and no human life on our side.
So as a businessman, right, profit and loss kind of guy,
as a guy that even gives a shit about anything,
well, and here we go, the common sense person,
yeah, if you even care about anything,
that says,
folks,
look, what is the risk and what is the reward?
And it's far more than that too. It's like,
holy moly!
If you're so slow that you got to be
chess playing.
If you're so slow that you're back here going, oh, what's the risk and what's the reward? You're going to get smoked, right? You have to be on the forefront of that, letting your Godhead do your thing, being in the tune of reality.
Yeah, you better be in. Yeah, you better be in that temple. So what I guess I was reaching out for is 3 months ago. These guys started planning. Maybe 6 months ago. Maybe a year ago. Maybe 2 years ago, they started planning this event. Good luck is when you're prepared for an opportunity. Bad luck is when you ain't. So these guys increased their odds of success to the point where losing wasn't even in the equation. They just wanted to see how fast they could win. And that's a Marine mentality. That is a Ranger mentality. That is a Delta Force mentality. We're going to win. Just how well are we going to win? How well are we going to win? The degree of winning is everything. And what took place there?
What everything is how we're going to win.
Oh, that's the foundational thing. But then it incrementally increases.
Did you somehow win by something that wasn't unethical? That's the whole calculation of everything of winning. That's
Absolutely.
Where it's dangerous.
Well, no. Yeah, you're going to either win by strong integrity and standing firm in what's right and wrong.
Well, that's the thing.
Or you're going to cheat and be a bitch and go, oh no, we won anyways. I mean, we already had it all lathered up. It don't matter. Oh, it's okay.
Forcing anything doesn't necessarily make it go. But then again, without enough, I've faced that my whole life. It's get a bigger hammer. Well, you didn't need a bigger hammer. You needed more grease, right? It's that.
There's a balance. There's a balance of decision making.
Well,
there's a trade-off.
What I'm trying to say is there's a lot of this whipping back
and forth. There's a trade-off.
There's a lot of whipping back and forth it's the sine wave coming back and forth before it ever gets
Just like electricity, baby.
there.
Yeah.
That's what it's like trying to figure it out.
And
That's why you need to be right on the front part
you
of
got to
that.
be right on it. You got to be like a cat on a hot tin roof, man. You better be pressed in and shaken down. You better not, oh, yeah, scratch my nuts and having a well, that doesn't get it. No, you better, number one, you're going to take the responsibility with the authority, and you're going to execute with everything you got. You're going to make sure that you win. And if you can't win, you got to pick and better lose really good with honor, knowing that you did everything you could. We got a president in there right now in a regime that understands that we're not combating. This is not a little political thing that you look, well, they're Republican, they're Democrat, oh, they're this or that. No, this is good against evil. This is light against dark. Whether you're Christian or not, it's still light against dark, because the natural affection that people, 99% of the world just wants to be left alone. And they know how to govern themselves with the innate, just what's put in them. Just like a mama cow.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's being on the point. You ain't thinking about it. That's just like the good card players.
Boom! Bam!
There was a quote last night, and I said it 10, 15 times, and it just slipped away from me. Something about thinking too long and then you're wrong, or something like that.
You can overthink a lot of stuff. And I'm guilty,
It's
because
more-
I'm an overthinker.
Thinking is one thing, but just doing it, right? Having the natural ability to just end up doing it. That's natural ability.
And
natural
Stephen,
talent.
that's one of the biggest things that I learned from my uncles. They said, you know, thinking about it's worse than just going and doing it.
Once you think about it, you've already used the energy that you could have used to do it. And at least you would have had real world experience of something.
Well, you would have had, you would actually
You
would have
either
had something manifested,
You either would have accomplished something, or you would have been.
or you'd have been learned on how not to do it.
There you go.
So at the end of the day, all this expose with the government, number one, the American people are paying way too much in taxes. So it makes a slush fund that is extraordinary for grant.
Yeah. So I was reading that the other day. It's they say only the people that make over 500,000 would have to pay taxes to pay $500 billion. That they're wasting almost $1 trillion. We would only have to pay $500 billion. That's why the tariffs. If the tariffs get to going right, that's why the tariffs easily could make us rich, because there wasn't the fraud and stealing that there is now. Everybody complains about the tariffs not working good enough. Well, if you could cut the fraud down, you wouldn't need nearly as much. That's the key to it. Try to raise more so you can spend more, so they can thieve more. This Larry,
What you want to do is be able to encourage the person that's going to do things, the creator that's creating profit. And profit is not created with insurance companies and all that bullshit. All that's artificial. That's stuff after all the cream has been made. That's where you start divvying it up. Where the real profit comes from is the 7 inches of topsoil on the planet.
Did I tell you
that's
about
created?
Michael Bird?
You did. You mentioned something about, and he was the guy that had. What did he do?
So Lieutenant Michael Bird, who shot Ashley Babbitt dead on January 6, 2021 in cold blood, runs an unaccredited daycare center in Maryland at his home and has pocketed $190 million in HHS funds.
He's a funnel.
$190 million, that's like 50, 40, 45.5 million a year over 4 years.
Me being a plumber, I think about $1 a minute. I think in dollars a minute. Electricians think in dollars a minute. Anybody that's working with their hands And I'm the dumbass that brought it out. I said it's $60 an hour. Well, then I asked a silly little question. I said, well, how much is that a minute? And then the plumber, being a mathematical genius, goes, well, that's $1 a minute. I said, well, you need to bring that up. We need to understand where we're at here. Because when I'm making hay and I'm developing beef and stuff, it don't equate like that. And those are guaranteed wages. Somebody has a problem and you're solving it and you're charging them $1 a minute. And this was years ago. 60 minutes in an hour, we're charging $60 an hour. Well, now they're $180 an hour. It's $3 a minute for somebody to be in your house fixing something that you need. Woo, doggies. Woo, it ain't all profit. And not only that, but then they may even exploit your lack of knowledge because you weren't taught in school how things run. And your house is your biggest investment. So here again, you were talking about some gal, $33,000 or something for a new hot water heater or something.
Well, then, I mean, we can't talk about the stupidity of humanity. Let's talk about how the hell we're going to kick an ass, and that is that we got to keep this frickin' communism out of here, folks. So, communism, not to discredit what Jimmy's saying, but hopefully you all realize
well, the free market was what I was trying to say is one thing.
So if you really don't understand that, I don't know how many times we can beat you over the head before you understand it, but the rest of us adults have we have
some sense.
We have information that we want to absorb. Excuse me for cussing again, but
it's all good.
It's been one of them days.
Oh, I know. You got over a sickness, and you got a lot going on, brother. You are more than a conqueror. You're a badass. I guarantee you. Steve Rourke is a badass.
Lieutenant Michael Byrd is getting $190 million out of his house over the last 4 years. So that goes to these smallies. And the fraud that's going on and what we're talking about, how you're lying, folks. So that's the whole battle, is in between yourself, right? And that's where the battle is at, right? You have to tell yourself and keep yourself accountable, because nobody else will. I mean, you know, maybe your significant other or your good friend will help, but at the end of the day, right? I mean, secrets are secrets, and nobody knows everything on your own but your own, right? So with that being said, that's why you have to hold yourself accountable. That's the moral of this lesson, and that's what I was starting this conversation out with, about how I listened to this crazy fucker that had all this stuff going on that sounded just like what it should sound like, and then he's like, well, but I'm a communist and they didn't have election fraud. But they did, and they have been, and son of a bitch has been frauding us the whole time with this stuff.
Well, and that's what I'm getting at. Is a con man. The reason they call a con man is they get your confidence and you believe in them, and then you give something to them, and then it is an absolute.
The worst part is, though, what we're talking about, though, is what they have to be inside to be the con man. That's what we're talking about. This evil that
they're already demonic.
It's the evil that each of us.
They're already dark. They're selfish.
But that's part of it. But there's people that are closer to the center that weave back and forth, right? So
that's where the politic word comes in.
But it's not. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the difference between being good and being bad.
Absolutely.
So you can't say that I'm fucking on both lines. It's a politic thing, because that's just a sorry ass excuse.
No, a politician is a compromiser. They wiggle both sides.
Compromise is not in the fucking sentence here.
I understand that, but in the reality it is.
But not in my reality. That's what I'm saying. We're not talking about compromising on anything.
Right.
That's not what this conversation's about.
And the harsh reality of it is you have compromisers, people that know right from wrong, but they go, we're going to have to give in. Politics You need to look up what politics means.
Well, and that's the whole thing. What he's saying, folks, that's what we always do. What we're always tested with in this world of free will every second of every day.
Every second.
Whatever
of
he
every
just
day.
said, that's happening to all of us all the time, trying to do the right thing here. Try not to cuss. Try not to embarrass yourself. Try not to slam the door on somebody. Don't steal anything from them. Don't steal their energy by being mean to them or anything, right? Try to be a good person and be happy. I mean, that's pretty much the goal.
Absolutely. So you don't want to repay evil for evil. And what I take from that is, don't make somebody make you so something bad. Your reactive mind and your natural mind wants to react in a childish manner or in a carnal manner, as opposed to a spiritual. And you're like, it doesn't make sense here, but it makes sense in the invisible world. And those are the qualities of life that's been taken out of the school. That moral conduct, that God conscience, that listen, you got vibrations, you're fearfully and wonderfully made. And you're sending off tones and vibrations with your being that's going to govern your being. That's why this country was founded on a republic. All of that, and it's self-governing. And if we don't get back to the essence and the wisdom that developed this country.
So Mikey just sent me one.
We're missing it, man. We're missing it bad.
There's an Iranian-run daycare in Los Angeles that got over $42 million, but no kids have showed up in 9 months. Meanwhile, the guy in charge is driving a brand new Rolls Royce. Turn up the heat on California. There's 10 times more fraud here than Minnesota.
So here again, I know people look
at Iranian. So we're over here
funneling.
So this is what's so screwed up here, right? We're trying to have war with Iran, but yet we're letting them have we're paying them in our own country. That's some weird shit. Did you just hear what I said? We're talking about going to war with Iran, but yet we're giving them all this money in our own country. Really? That's pretty
genius.
I mean, that's the whole. That's a human thing, right? A psychological thing is, the bigger the lie, the more believable it is.
Right. Absolutely. So at the end of the day, not believing what some mouthpiece elected official is saying, and standing there playing, and I guess, what did Donald Trump have? He had some kind of you're fired deal. I mean, he had some kind of a TV show, and everybody played their part, and it was a big facade. It was like going to the movie theater, except it's your life. It's your life, and it's your breath, and it's everything that you believe. It's what you see. And these people are playing the script out. And we're sitting there going, damn, we're just the people in the bleachers that paid for the ticket. We just paid for the ticket.
I'm actually on the field.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm not in the bleachers, folks.
So anyways, at the end of the day, it's hard to know what to believe. Why does Jimmy have a milk cow? Why does Jimmy have canned foods from his garden? Why does Jimmy have the solar stuff all set up, ready to go in a Faraday cage? Why do I prepare the way I'm doing? Because I don't believe any of the nonsense. What I do trust in is truth in the very existence of what God put in us. We have a commonality. We understand what's right and wrong. Mike Boring, who is in making all this happen, we have a commonality of what's going on. We know right from wrong. We know what's good and what's bad. That's a kingdom, man. That's a kingdom. And that kingdom is what we're fighting for. When you start getting into politics that are funneling money to undermine the country for their own selfish gain, you have elected officials that swore on a Bible, not a Quran.
Well, and so this is like the degree, folks, right? So just what he says, like to finish, but that's all the very way start when you lie to another individual. That's like the first trespass, right? That first lie, that first betrayal to another person, that's just as bad as betraying the whole world, right?
Absolutely.
I shouldn't say that it's...
And that's the degree that we need to be holding ourselves to. It's like, wait a minute, Eve, we already know how that ends up. Don't bite it. We already know this. I mean, the examples of right and wrong in the principalities of our existence has been personified in a lot of different language. But for an individual that's being paid with taxpayers' money, who says, "Oh, I'm going to keep sending the money," you're the person that's sitting there.
But it's more than that too. I mean, they're getting paid, so you got to remember that the loop's coming around. They ain't just doing it because they're stupid.
So here again, the most prophetic thing I'm ever going to say in my life. You either serve money and mammon and carnality, or you serve the principles of eternity. You're either going to serve carnality and personal gain, and you will sell anything out. You'll sell your mother. Or you have a principle about you that says, no, the integrity is in eternity, where I have to do everything I can. I have to kill my flesh and make good decisions based on eternity. And if you don't believe in that, when you're dead, you're dead. Well, whoever wins with the most toys wins. Well, that's a fine deal. But we're talking about the heart of the matter here. We're talking about the very heart of the matter of your decision making. Are you concerned about your soul, or are you just concerned about your monetary gain?
Yeah, that's what makes you lie. Or cheat, but the honorary part.
Or that makes you with integrity that goes, holy schmoly.
One of the problems is, though, man, is part of that is so ingrained subconsciously. I mean, you have to have a real strong conviction, and don't get me wrong, it shouldn't be that hard to tell the difference from right and wrong. It shouldn't be, but it's like we're trained. I still catch myself doing certain things, and I'm just like, I can't believe that you were trained like that. You know better than that. You're far past that, but it's like it's this blip that comes up. It's like, and TV has a lot to do with it, right? This programming of the whole
inflation has a lot to do with that. The monetary oppression of the American.
I'm talking about education.
In the
they're
education,
fucking stupid because they're walking this shit.
I'm Steve. I wholeheartedly agree with you. You're always like 5 or 6 steps above everybody. You always are. You just are. But you got to be able to bring them to you. And all I'm saying is, absolutely, what you said is righteous. But what I'm saying is, in the now, we figured out that Common Core was a spoil. And all these teachers that never been out of school, they never had a job, they never had a real life. All they did was propagate what they were taught. The teachers were teaching a bunch of darkness. And we were paying them with our money. They never knew that they had an obligation to the Constitution. They didn't have a realization that the moral code was carry your own water. And if you can't carry your water,
The problem.
we'll carry it for
That
you
is-
because we
that-
love you.
That is all. That is all true. The problem is, folks, is when it's human nature
Human nature.
that you're convicted about who you are, and what you believe. That's why these liberals, they watch something off CNN and then they believe that, and then when old ladies that have been friends for a long time, this happened to my mom. She sent her friend a political cartoon, and she never talked to her again.
None.
Well, it's like,
So that's where the division is. It's a spiritual division
that's
of conviction, of principality.
well, and that's conviction. That's what I'm saying.
Of principality.
It is what it is, conviction. I'm just talking about the neutral conviction. I'm not talking about what side you're on here. Just the conviction, right? Follow me through here. The conviction itself is what, whether you're on which side you're on or what you are, right? You're convicted if you heard. That's where I'm
You
going.
drew a
with
line.
the human nature is, people always want to say, because I'm guilty of it too and always have been. Well, I heard
Oh,
this.
me too.
I heard.
Oh, I'm guilty.
No, I'm right. No shit.
No, I'm guilty.
No, me.
No, I'm guilty.
So it's human nature to say, well, what I've learned is right. So, if you've gotten trained and taught day after day after day, that's what you are. You don't even realize the difference between right and wrong and good. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but when you get so entrained, it's because we already know that the brain is like 85% autonomic, right? We're doing all this stuff that we're doing and not thinking about it. We don't have enough brain power to do that, or we don't right now.
And I like what you said, but what came to my mind is when you're so proud, you're so stiff, and you're so arrogant that you can't say, "Oh, wait a minute, I might be wrong."
Well, that's why.
I might have miscalibrated.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. Is, are you willing to say that I might?
Are you humble enough?
I might have miscalibrated. That's all you have to say.
Sure.
Did I miscalibrate here?
Yeah. Honesty and sincerity is what belongs to you and me.
And give a shit about it. Right?
Honesty and sincerity
Not
is
just
what
saying,
belongs to you and me.
Not just saying
Honesty
I'm sorry,
and sincerity. If you're honest and you're sincere, but you can take correction.
Well, and the whole thing
Woo!
is, that's what I've been saying my whole life is,
You have been.
I want to be right, and if I'm not, I want to know why.
I want to know why.
Right now, if I'm not,
Right now.
explain.
Explain it.
Because I
I
this
have enough
path.
humility.
I have this path that I'm traveling down, and I want that inside. It's the P word, what we talked about when
Perfection. When we're doing construction, we're talking about perfection. And here again, Jesus was a carpenter. And I'm going to just leave it right there. Some of you people are attracted to that belief system in the Bible. Here in the big scope of things, we need to look at a bigger picture. Although my conviction is where it is it's cross. But at the end of the day, we got to be able to get along with a lot of people that don't have the same fundamental belief system, but we have all the lateral belief systems. We all agree on all of this major principalities is, don't rape my daughter, don't rape my mom, don't rob me at the grocery store, don't take me, don't take advantage of me on the internet.
It's so, yeah, and that's
So the golden rule, and this is where Jesus rules in my life. It's a golden rule. It's a golden rule. You love God with everything you got because God's rule is solid. It's solid. It's like the manufacturer's. If you buy a GMC, here is the deal. This is what you got to do to make this thing run right.
And so I don't want to get too religious. So I feel
there's no religion in this.
For me, I'm a vessel of God, right? So that's what I do, right? I'm not going to talk about what I think he needs, because I'm still trying to figure that out, folks, right? So we're not trying to get too.
No. There's no religion in this. This is strictly truth.
But what we're talking,
I don't know anybody that had the time change from AD to BC.
We're not trying to fucking talk to third graders, though. But what we're trying to talk about, right, is back to how can we keep these people accountable that are lying to us? That's what this whole thing boils down to, is that we have to somehow figure out how to keep these people accountable. We have to raise our voice. Enough people are figuring out. Now it's on CBS and NBC and stuff about the fraud that's going on in Minnesota. So and they're up there arresting them, supposedly.
So here again, Jim McMahon said, look, here's a statute. Here's a statute. And I'm going to leave it right fucking there. I already said how to fucking do right here. And I don't give a fuck who cares about anything.
They don't care
All
about
I'm saying is the law. And when you...
Bill Canada don't care about it.
Well, he fixing to.
Well, he don't right now.
He's fixing to.
He don't. Fucking don't care.
Well, he's fixing to.
Not soon enough
There's
for me.
There's a lot of quiet stuff that's going on.
Not soon enough for me.
And patience is a big deal. Patience is a massive deal.
Before long, I've already got enough gray hair, and so I'm tired of waiting, personally. Just say it up to whoever's listening. I'm tired of waiting. I want results now. It's been too long. You already had too much time to dilly-jack around. It's showtime, boys.
It's showtime. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, is showtime. You got to be ready to die. You got to be ready to be selfless.
What you need to do is be able to discern what's the difference between right and wrong, and do that at every 2 or 3 seconds, every 4 or 5 seconds or whatever, when your thought process ends and something else happens.
You know, and Steve, this is a cool thing. This is a cool thing. I'm not religious. I'm not religious at all. And I mean, you might.
I'm just saying, there's far more factors than that.
Wait a minute. Watch how cool. I want to expound on what you said. The scripture says, "Bring every thought in the captivity of what's right and wrong." So what you said is in the Bible. And you might not even know that it was in the Bible. But what you just said is in the Bible. As a real person breathing right now, and now and right here, you just said what was in the Bible.
Well, that's what happens when you don't have to read the shit. You already know it.
That
not to be brash.
No, wait a minute.
That's kind of boastful, but
Steve,
that is the case,
Steve, I'm going to tell you right now.
I mean, I've studied it some, but
Stephen, I'm going to say right now, what you just said needs to be repeated loudly, because people think meek is mild. You know what meek is? Meek is God conquered. Meek is God conquered. You have the ability to make a decision in every situation. You are a mature person in the image of God. You are a mature person in the image of God. You have that. We have that. And we underestimate that because, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. My thing is I have been a person that I blow shit off the rack. I do. And people go, oh, damn. Well, I didn't know, because I'm not politically correct. I'm not hampered by a political persuasion. I'm not hampered by anything other than my conclusion of what's right and wrong. And you're the same way. Well, I know you are.
That's the thing, too.
I love you so much because you are that person.
What makes us that, though, is what makes other people not that way. And that's the thing. That's
a contrast. That's a division
Well,
of the.
that's where it takes work, folks. That's what repent means, is not to do that bad thing anymore.
But to learn better.
Yeah, whether it's intake of nutrients, what you drink, what you smoke, how you treat yourself, how you treat your family. I mean, all this stuff influences. And I mean, sometimes I just have to have a vice. I mean, I've been to some things and they're like, you can't eat sugar, and everybody's like, sugar is the worst thing. And I'm like, but sometimes I'm just having a piece of sugar. That's all there is to it.
So we're in a compromisable situation where the principles are still gonna rise at the top, just like making any kind of good drink. All the good stuff's gonna rise to the top. Even as a guy that's milking the cow, all the good stuff rises to the top. And I'm gonna encourage every person in Custer County what made you go ahead and sign? Yeah, I want that property. I'm going to build that house. I'm going to live here. Why did you do that? And I'm a why guy.
I mean, all of that is good and fine and dandy, but to me, that it doesn't account for the fraud. All that is what it is. But it's like, if we can just solve the fraud, is all we need to solve. The property tax doesn't even matter if you get rid of the fraud.
I know, but low-income housing.
None of that matters.
In
If you get rid of the fraud, there'd be plenty of money to do shit.
Well,
nobody'd have to pay income tax. All this stuff.
Well, no, what I want is that if we got enough money, let's pay for the territorial prison. Let's bring one of them fuckers up in here. Let's get some income housing up in this son of a bitch.
Well, see, that's back to, I'm trying not to think about that shit.
See, my problem is I'm the Donald Trump guy, because I'm a general contractor.
Tonight you're supposed to be acting a little bit different. You're
I
supposed to be
know,
happy.
brother man. Yeah, I'm supposed to be acting a little different. When it comes down to it, if you know a general contractor, if you know somebody that's had to general 7 or 8, 15, 18, 20 houses going on at one time, you got to know that son of a bitch has got an expansive amount of situational awareness. And if you think you're going to combat that person, like they're trying to combat Donald Trump, and this son of a bitch is building, how many stories?
I don't even know.
50, 80 stories? I mean, these son of a bitches is badass. These son of a bitches badass. They are the orchestrator for some of you people that like the music. They're orchestrating from the ground up what's going to happen 80 stories up with steel. And that's the person that's at the helm right now. That is a badass person. He can understand, he can calibrate.
He ain't gonna get it done for you, folks. You'll have to do it yourself. You just well figure that out.
Oh, without a doubt.
Hopefully he can lead this country, and so we can all come into the
leadership is one thing.
He ain't gonna fix it for you.
Leadership is one thing. And Stephen, thank you.
Fix this ourselves.
Yeah, we're going to have to fix it ourselves. The thing is, he provides strong leadership.
Each person, he does provide strong leadership.
An example of where you got to go.
Each person has to figure it out for themselves, folks. That's what we keep preaching on. We said that about 20 times. So by the end of this podcast, you should figure it out, right? So we got
Sarah, thank you again.
What? So I don't know if I got this part out or not. I mean, it's kind of an interesting evening. Some of the stuff that I hear, this is from Patrick Byrne, one of the CIA intelligence guys, or however he fits in there, I don't know exactly. They're talking about Maduro wanted to get out of there the whole time. He couldn't get out because he's under guard from the communists, but that he's supposed to let all this stuff out. And the intel officer already did. This is a for sure confirmed list. That's what they're saying.
Well, in here again, you don't let go. I remember. So my analytic ability in practical reasoning comes from. We had 48 inches of rain in California. The cows couldn't get to where I was bringing the hay. And my uncle was in Martinez Hospital with pneumonia. I was a 12-year-old kid. We had cow shit. Cows couldn't even get to the feeder. I jumped on an 8N9 tractor. 8N. Wasn't a 9N, it was an 8. And it had a Johnson handle. And this was in an olive orchard. I didn't know you weren't supposed to do this. I jumped off the tractor. I loaded up a 7-foot dip, and it's got a Johnson handle on it. The more you dip it, the more it scoops, and then you push it down and it skips across. Then I had to get back on the tractor. And dodge olive trees.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm just telling you, when you are the solution to the problem, and you know you are.
The thing is that you don't know. You don't know shit. You're just doing it.
You're just fucking naturally reacting.
Well, that's the whole thing. You don't know anything. So if you think you know, you're out. Right? That's what we're talking about, being that close to the sine wave of what's going on. You need to be just all natural, right? You're not thinking
all natural. All natural. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna be all natural. And I'm just gonna say, Sarah, thank you. I can move my arms. I had 2 days of concrete. Sarah Jordan. Yeah. Anyways, at the end of the day, what you're saying is in the now.
That's what it's going to take, and that's what we need to do. So we got this thing coming up. It's caucus time, folks. We only got like 7 weeks to prepare, so we got to get going on this. I'm going to talk to Taylor, see what he has in mind. Anybody that wants to help us, I mean, you know us well enough. I mean, hopefully somebody, instead of just keep throwing the ball, hopefully the ball hits the wall and comes back to me at some point, right? I mean, we need help on this deal. It's time to get together and figure out what we're going to do, who might be considered to be a PCP or like to be a PCP. 2 from each district, so it's only 6 people total to replace what's in there, which I think that's a good goal for what we're doing. Jimmy and I were talking about that today. It's not, the most important thing is to get Taylor on the primary ballot, in my opinion. That's what we're trying to do. But if we can, in the meantime, try to heal the Republican Party, we should try to do that too. And I don't know why we wouldn't, because there's plenty of patriots. I mean, it's a hell of a lot better than the American Communist Party or the Democrat Party. So
no, and I think, Stephen,
the thing is we need a way to get on the same boat, and then every time it jumps on, it just keeps getting bigger. That's what we need. We need something that works like that. I mean, we've been trying to do our best here, and I know it hadn't been quite time, but it's time now to get going with this. And so, I mean, I'm going to do the best I can, but at the end of the day, I'm not the only one responsible for this, right? I'm just trying to say that this is a good action plan, and this is, in my best calculation, the best way to get there, right? But I can't do it by myself. Otherwise, it would already be done.
So what Stephen is saying is we got to spread the responsibility on. You need to step up to the plate, folks. We can only do so much. And you have no idea how hard we're trying. A lot of you don't. You just don't. You don't understand who we're talking to. How when you come across, oh man, look how beautiful this valley is. You do not have the understanding of how it's been kept. And the word kept, K-E-P-T-T, K-E-P-T. That word can be manipulated. I've had it manipulated on me. If you don't understand how this county has been protected, and the old in our elders that put it all together.
I mean, you can say protecting all you want, but to me that just sounds what the socialists are pushing, man. The fact of the matter is if you don't like it, buy it. It's still a capitalist world, folks.
Well, no, the
You can't
extortion,
protect shit. If you don't want to see this stuff get split up, then buy it. Oh, I can't buy it. Well, that's not my fault, not my problem. But you ain't protecting none of my shit. My shit is what it is because I want it to be that way. And that's what capitalism is, folks. So if you're not proud enough to make it happen out here, it's nobody's fault but your own.
So here again, I want to start a group of people that want to buy the water rights and the heritage of this county. Me, Jim McMahon, only me, not anybody else. I want to be able to preserve the community the way it is.
Well, that ain't fair.
I'm
the one that said buy it.
Oh, no, brother, man. Oh, Stephen. God, oh, no. God love you. I mean, at the end of the day, no, a lot of us, but the thing is, the harsh reality is whoever has the money.
That's the harsh reality, but that's also what keeps America what it is, because just like the ranch that I have, right? I mean, that's the sanctuary of what I do, right? That's my whole life is out there. Every little bit and every nook and cranny, right? I've been running around there for 50 years.
But it would be nice to be able to sell 80-acre tracts for $500 or $1.5 million.
I could already sell them.
Right. Oh, no.
My shit's not in a conservation easement.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and
I
want to bring that to people's conscious awareness.
What the problem is that they're going to try to tell us it's only 80 tracts when the state says you can get a well on 35. So why can't I break it down to 35? Well, you're in the zone. Well, look here, man. If I have enough money, you can't stop me from doing it. Zoning, don't get me wrong, folks. Custer County zoning and all of that is a great thing in place to keep the homes out of it. But at the end of the day, they can't stop it if you're really rich. They've already gotten in trouble with that before.
Absolutely.
So it's just a guideline, right? And I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate it and I respect it and I want it. But at the end of the day, we can't stop it.
No, because
it's not legal.
The serving two of
it's not legal with the rest of the law of the land. That's the whole thing.
Right. Absolutely. So where I'm at is a moral conduit. Where I say, look, when you popped over that hill and you said, "Ooh, this is kind of nice," you need to understand what kept that kind of
Yeah,
nice.
you should have bought it when you had a chance.
You should have bought it. Well, and the chance is still there.
Well, and that's basically feeding what we're still talking about is people buying it up so it doesn't get changed. But that's the whole problem. I mean, the more people that come in, the more opinions you have, and the more people that it's more cooks in the kitchen, and all it's going to do is spoil the stew.
Yeah.
But that's just
and what Stephen O'Rourke just said is that is a consequence.
That's why we have property rights, though.
Absolutely.
Right? So as long as you don't infringe on my property rights, then we're all good. But as long as you start trying to tell me what to do with my land, and I begin to have to defend, because I'm not in the position that I'm going to tell you anything. I don't care what you do with your land, that's your land. But you're not going to tell me about my land. And
right.
If you approach me and you start turning the pressure up against me, you're going to be met with opposition, and at some point you can't win. You will not, you have no right against me to say what I can do with my ground, and I will, it's to the death for that, for me. You ain't telling me what to do. Just ain't. That's all there is to it. You're not going to tell me what to do with my property. I mean, I'll obey the simple laws. When I feel like it, I stop at the stop signs. Whatever, man.
You
A lot of
slow
times,
down.
these right over here on this, whatever on 2nd Street is just irritating the living shit out of me. I can barely stand that shit. I've been driving up and down that street for 50 years. And there's 2 stop signs, one here and one on the end, and now you got to stop 3 times?
Now you got to stop 3 times.
Oh, that's bullshit. I got stuff to do besides stop at a frickin' stop sign that's a 4-way stop that nobody's ever at. I just keep blowing through there. If you're a cop, I suppose I did get popped down here the other day at the 4-way. I barely braked too, because it was early in the morning, and I'm like, oh shit, that was a cop. He kind of come down here and had to give me a little.
Well, no, he's got to justify his existence.
Well, I mean,
you didn't put anybody in harm.
Their mentality, right?
Well, here again, there's a lot we got to talk about.
I don't want to talk about nothing with them because I don't have the time, or I don't have the desire to match intellect with a cop. I just don't. Appreciate you what you're doing. Maybe you can take care of a little old lady or a little girl or something, but there's nothing you can do for me at this point. If I cut my leg off, then that might be a different story. Just saying. But you got any last?
Well, my whole thing is I can do without a lot of the government. I remember my wife had a stroke.
I'm just tired of hearing about the government, that's all.
I'm tired. And going worry and not battling it is not the answer. We got to sit here and battle these fuckers.
I've talked about it all I'm willing to talk about it. I'm tired of fucking hearing about it. Action is what we need, not talk.
So here again, there's the First Amendment where you talk about the solution. We try to reason with the people. We try to reason with the government, saying, now. The Second Amendment is saying, no, we're going to enforce. And it's Red County, Blue Nation. Watch what you say. No. The Second Amendment is fixing to get real here. Because people have had enough.
It wouldn't have to get real if we could just get the judges to do something. That's what they're already talking about, like in these Somalis that go in and
92-year-old judge with Maduro from Venezuela. He's a 92-year-old judge. He is not fucking around. He's a 92-year-old judge. 92-year-old judge that said, we'll see you back here in March. Have your poop in the group, boy.
That's not what
92-year-old judge.
Talking about. Well, I'm talking about the Soros-funded judges that are letting these Somalis go. They only frauded for $8 million and you turned them loose? That's what I'm talking about. And
shang.
Finally talking about this on the news.
Yeah.
So people can hear about it.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Here again, you have a lot of propaganda. We can equate this.
Well, that's because Obama passed that. I mean, we all know what the deal is, and
it's all out in our face.
I'm tired of trying to treat somebody like they don't know what we're talking about. If you don't know, folks, you ain't gonna figure it out.
Well, you're way behind. The learning curve is so.
I'm ready to go make tacos. Is what I'm ready.
Yeehaw! All right, we're out of here.
With that being said, I got Jamie's attention, folks. See you next week.
Hey, Sarah, Jordan, thank you so much. You've made my world go around, honey. Thank you. And God bless all of us. Woo!